What happens when you take a dream, a garage, and a whole lot of bass and build it into one of the cleanest names in custom car world? You get Genuine Custom Auto. Today, we're chopping it up with a man who took his passion for cars and sound and turned it into a lifestyle. He's gone from installs in the IE, the Inland Empire, to the SEMA show in Vegas, where only the best of the best get invited. But behind every clean build is a real story. Grit, missteps, hustle, and heart. Car lovers, audio heads, builders, and believers, turn it up. This one's for you. This is Truth on Tilt. Hey, everybody. I'm one of the most well-respected man on the streets and the scene. I have the founder, and I guess the CEO of Genuine Custom Auto, James Faras. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. I got to let you know, I am an car audiophile, so I'm like geeking out right now because I love a good sounding car. I mean, people don't understand. You're sitting in your car hours.
Yeah.
Hours, especially in LA, right?
Yeah.
Just to go miles, right?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, forget going cross country, what it used to be. I mean, just to go from the IE to LA could take you 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference to just be in there listening. But I know you didn't start out just saying, hey, I'm going to go in the cars. Give us a little bit about your journey.
Well, basically, I grew up and my dad was really into loud music. And I think that's where my love for the music came. And then growing up as a teenager, I was kind of involved in the streets and it all started stealing. And so we used to go around and drive around and just steal stereo systems. And then from there, my older brother would work on cars. And so I started working on cars, helping him. And no one really likes to do electrical. It's really kind of a hassle. So I kind of picked up on it because I love the stereo systems and I love to do it. So from there, it just blew up into a passion. And then I was doing them in my mom's front yard and just hooking up the homies here and there. And then it started to get real busy. And then it got to a point where on the weekends I'd have 5-6 cars in the front yard and the city shut me down and I was forced to open up a shop.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Running that 14-gauge wire from the amps to the battery, nightmare, especially if you want to make it look clear. Forget the RCA cables and everything else. You know, everyone has an album that made them fall in love with the bass sound effect, right? Yeah. Mine was Run DMC, Raising Hell. Then it was LL Cool J, going back to Cali. I remember my mom bought me a Walkman that it wasn't the Sony Mega Bass Yellow one, but it was a Sony that had the bass boost on it.
Oh, yes.
Right? Back, when we had tapes.
Yeah.
You go to the swap meet, buy the pirated tape, for $4. And I remember listening to that for the first time and turning on the bass boost, and it was like an addiction for me.
Yes.
And that, I guess that's how it was with your dad. What was the first songs you remember? Like, gosh, I absolutely love this.
He played a lot of oldies, and since we're Portuguese, he was playing a lot of Portuguese music too. But then once I started to get a little older, I would listen to like the hip hop and stuff like that. And that, of course, had a lot more bass, and it was just way more addicting to feel that pressure, in the car.
Yeah, to feel that hum, you hear that hum coming from like 2 blocks away, right? And just to be able to, feel it inside. And then, of course, you're just about the bass. And all of a sudden you realize how important the mid is. And then you also understand how important the tweeters and that high treble is just to get that crisp, clean sound.
Yes.
So did you go through a lot of experimentation when you were doing this, or was it learning from your brother?
With the car audio part, It was all me. I would actually go online and I did a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of reading. I remember we used to go to the library and Barnes and Noble when we were rebuilding motors, because back in the days there was no YouTube. So we would go to libraries, sit down and read on how to build motors and torque and the specifications and all that. And then I would kind of break off into the wiring aspect of it. And then it's a lot of trial and error. I mean, you learn from your mistakes as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I was so frustrated that I didn't think I was getting enough highs that I actually had them put tweeters in my AC ducts.
Yeah.
And when you turn the AC on, man, that you had to play with the equalizer a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I remember I would spend hours just playing with it, tweaking, because it is an addiction.
It is.
And it's like it's almost like people who go get plastic surgery, they go get more done and more done and more done. Is that how it is with your clients?
Yes.
It's a building process, or even tattoos, right?
Yes.
You don't get like the full tattoo that day. You get it done in bits and
little.
Yeah. So if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm ready to build a system in my car," where do you start?
If I don't know the customer, I'll ask them, what do they want? Do they want bass? Do they want louder mids and highs? If they've had a system before, if they have, what was it? Were you happy with it? What did you feel it was lacking? And just go from there.
So if someone comes to you and says, "I've never had a system before," that you have to go through a huge education process, don't you?
Yes, because a lot of people think, the more speakers, the better. But I had a customer where I put 2 8-inch woofers in his pickup truck, and it was sounding better than people that had 4 10s, 3 12s. Like, it's a science that goes behind all this.
It is. And I mean, that's a crazy thing now with the pickup trucks. They have, like, even JBL makes those custom boxes that go behind the back seat if you have a crew cab.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I had so my Toyota Tundra was the last car I put a system into. And it's still I sold it, but I still see it being driven around. But I had one 12 in that JBL, and inside the cab of a pickup truck, that's all you need.
Yeah.
It was insane how loud that thing hit, right?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Do you ever find yourself thinking, I can make this bigger?
I try to push myself to do the best, and I try to better every system that I do, so I'm constantly improving. So yeah, I do.
So you basically are practicing installing. You haven't perfected it yet, in your opinion?
I don't think nobody has, because every year cars come out, there's new options and new technology that comes with it. I don't think you can ever master it. We're constantly learning.
Well, so I exactly, and I definitely want to I want to sit down and or later in this conversation, I want to talk about the new cars, right, and the different head units and what you think of those. So, because back in the day, like, if you didn't change your head unit, it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Those preamp head units, they were the worst.
Yeah.
So you said you used to steal audio.
Yes.
And then would you charge people to put new audio in their car of something you stole when you were a kid?
Yes. That's how we made our money.
Oh, and did you get caught?
No, thank God.
Oh, no, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So what scared you straight off of that?
All my friends went to jail, and I was left alone, basically. So I didn't go out by myself and do it. I mean, it's funner when you're with your friends.
Right.
So when they were all in jail, I bought a 67 Impala and started focusing on that. And then I got a neighbor.
Do you still have that, by the way? Do you still have your Impala?
I sold that and my Cadillac to invest into the stereo shop.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been heartbreaking. But good, too. I mean,
yeah. I knew I was going to get another one eventually, because at the time, no one wanted to hire me. It was like tough. I couldn't get a job anywhere. So then I said, why not just invest in myself? So I just took that risk and went with it.
So when did you open your shop?
Like 2011.
Oh, wow. So almost 14, 15 years you've been doing this on your own.
Yes.
And so no one would hire you beforehand with all the experience that you've basically taught yourself,
Yeah.
which is priceless.
Yeah.
And thank goodness no one did, because now you can do it for yourself.
Yes.
And I mean, so when you look at the car stereo world now, are people being taken advantage of, in your opinion?
A lot of people are. A lot of people are. But I feel that they go to shops, and most of those shops hire younger guys that don't have experience, and then those shops don't want to pay for their installers to get the experience. And that's what goes wrong.
And I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but I'm thinking like Best Buy, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? You go there and they charge you an arm and a leg that maybe somebody they kind of trained to do it the Best Buy way, which is very generic, which is very repetitive, which there's no customization. There's no anything that says, hey, this is my car. I mean, you could compare car systems out of Best Buy. You couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah.
Right? And like, I see what you're doing as an art form. Like, you're able to say, oh, look at this car. This won this award. And do you do any two cars the same way?
No.
No.
Everyone that comes in that door is different.
So break down your Impala. What did you have in your Impala for us?
At the time, I had two pump setup from Hoppos Hydraulics. I had 8 batteries. We ended up standing the pumps up vertical and then hardlined everything out. And then I put a 15-inch Rockford Fosgate power DVC in the back. I was probably 20 years old. It was my first custom box I did. And I did it, and I put a Rockford Fosgate power amp in there, and it blew the box apart.
Was it a Power 300, Power 600?
500.
Power 500.
Yeah. And it blew the box apart, and I was so upset because all the hydraulics kind of went through the side of the box.
Ugh.
So I had to take everything back out. I almost went to a stereo shop and gave up. But I was like, you know what? I can do this. So I went through, I built the box better and stronger, and it sounded way better.
Yeah, it's crazy. So for people listening who are starting to think, okay, maybe I can do this. Let's first talk about the box. Mm-hmm. How important is it to get the box correct, to get the right sound?
Very important. Very. I believe everything in audio is important. You have to look at like if you're building a box for the subwoofer, you have to look at the RMS wattage. You have to see the airspace it takes, what type of box it takes, what frequency it plays at, what to tune the box at, everything.
Ohms.
Yes.
I mean, you can blow your amp if you hook it up incorrectly, right?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm guilty of that, but I am. I've done that too.
I think we all have.
Yeah, you blow, and you send it back to Fosgate, and you're like, yeah, I got to do this. So I was geeking out because I have a wake setter, and that thing came standard with 4 Fosgate power amps.
Really?
Standard. And so it runs, I have, and the head units, Rockford Fosgate standard, the amps are Rockford Fosgate standard, all the 6s, 6.5s are Fosgate standard, 2 12-inch woofers, Rockford Fosgate standard, and also on the ski tower, the domes, Fosgate standard.
That's awesome.
And first time when I first got that boat, because I bought it off auction, we were up at the lake, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn this on. And I had it turned up. I mean, it goes up to 32, right? Or 35 or something on the volume. I had turned it up to 10, but it was Bluetooth into my phone, which was all the way up. I scared the living shit out of everyone on that boat. including myself, dude. But I mean, it makes such a difference. I mean, especially on a boat. Have you done a lot of boats?
I've done a few, not a lot, but yeah, I've done a few.
I mean, because you don't realize when you're going 35, 40, you're going to lose that sound.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to lose it. And I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
You know, but I my opinion, I think JBL is probably past Rockford Fosgate. Do you agree with that?
Rockford Fosgate's done a lot of good, and their power line I've had a lot of good luck with. But JBL is also real good too. But in my preference, I don't think JBL has the power amps like Fosgate does.
No. I mean, Fosgate's dependable.
Yes.
That's the one thing I could always say about a Fosgate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever, other than melting it because I didn't look at the ohms.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I ever blew a fuse on a Fosgate.
Yeah, no, it's very hard to damage a Fosgate as long as everything's done correctly.
Right. So let's talk about amps. Another thing that people have to understand about amps is they get hot as hell.
Yes.
So you can't just mount an amp anywhere,
No.
right? It needs ventilation.
Yes.
So let's say you don't have the right area for good ventilation. Do you install fans in cars to keep them cool? Or
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I like to do one fan that blows air in and then one on the opposite side that blows air out. That way it constantly has an airflow over the amp.
Wow. Talk about the electrical, right?
Yeah.
So now let's talk about battery then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you usually install an additional battery into most of these cars that you're...
It depends on how many watts they go, but if you start to go over about 2,000, I recommend upgrading your factory one. And if you're going like 3,000 or more, I recommend adding another one.
Okay, so let's get back to that truck. Let's say you had to put a second battery in. Where would that be?
In that truck, we put 2 lithium batteries in the bed of it.
Oh, so they're in the bed.
Yeah, they're both in the bed.
And then how did you cover them so the weather didn't
He
get
has a tonneau cover.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
So he was lucky. Let's say we
Yeah.
don't. Let's say you have an open bed. Would you build something to protect that battery, or would you think of somewhere else to get the battery?
If there's no room in the engine compartment, I would put it in the bed still, build something out of wood, and then fiberglass it, because the fiberglass makes the wood waterproof.
Oh, look at you. So you could do boats.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of people don't understand water, especially salt water, is not a stereo's friend.
No, at all, at all. That's why they sell the marine equipment.
Right. So what's the difference then between marine equipment and car equipment?
The marine equipment, like if you look at the baskets of the woofers, it's all plastic. And then the materials is made to get wet or to get damp or condensation. And most of the inside of the amplifiers, they have like an epoxy on them so the electronics don't get messed up.
Do they sound any different, the plastic
No.
versus the metal?
No.
They sound about the same.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then what about, okay, let's talk about the mids. Can you have too many mids?
It's a personal preference. Me, you can never have too many of anything, but it's a personal preference.
So and just so people know, the mids are the voice,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's the voice. And that's, and then also the tweeters. I'm not a big tweeter fan, but I found that it helped the mids sound crisper and it helped the bass resonate more. Does that make sense? Even though they're a high frequency.
Yeah, it brings out the mids a lot better. Like me, I don't like a lot of tweeter. And if you look, a lot of speakers are made with the titanium tweeter. And that
two ways.
Yeah, that gives that sound. Where I like Silk Dome, where it's a softer tweeter.
Right, because the tweeters are what make your ears bleed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The bass stops your heart. The tweeters make your ears bleed. And then the mids just tell you about how bad your life is if you're listening to a country song, right?
Yeah.
So what does it feel like knowing that you've gone from the streets, stealing cars, teaching yourself, now you have your own brick and mortar?
It feels good. I'm not going to lie. It's like now that I sit here and look at the past, I see it was God's plan to put me exactly where I'm at. Because if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't know what I know today, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do today.
Yeah, because a lot of people say God shows, whether you believe in God or not, but people who believe in God, they say God shows you new things because he wants you to achieve those things, right?
Yes.
Like, for example, if you're not from a affluent area, but you do a lot of work for someone who is, and you see those nice cars that they drive, and you drive it to their homes, that's just God's way of showing you, hey, this is where you're going to end up.
Yes.
So you believe that that's what it...
100%.
Absolutely. And now I also know you have family that's also getting into the game.
Yes. Yeah, they're starting to help out.
And do they... is it a struggle, or are they excited about this? Because I mean, I have 3 daughters. They could care less about what I do.
Yeah, no, I got my oldest son. He's really showing improvement, and he's learning a lot. We actually did some speaker pods for the shop and put some LED lights and hooked everything up. And he wanted to basically build the whole thing, but I told him, like, you got to slow down because some of these tools are dangerous. You got to be careful with them.
Right.
Like, you see me do it and it looks easy, but I've been doing it for so long, I make it look easy. Like,
right.
You got to be careful.
There's a lot of saws.
Yes.
A lot of saws. Whether you're drilling a circle, drilling a straight, or cutting a straight line, there are a lot of saws.
Yeah.
And, so getting back, another question, getting back to the box.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to seal it on the inside?
If you're doing a sealed box, it's very important. If you're using MDF, a lot of people don't know MDF has a lot of microscopic holes in it. You can't see it, but you can. So if you get a sealed box and you fiberglass the inside, it'll sound way better. Way better. And the best way to test the sealed box is once you have the woofer mounted, if you push the woofer in and let go, it should come out really slowly. And when that does that, it's going to sound really good.
Exactly. Do you port all your boxes?
I try to, because ported boxes do produce more bass. But in some cases, like I just did a Monte Carlo Aero Coupe, and the opening...
What year?
87. So the opening of the trunk is really small. And I put 3 12-inch JLW6s. So I had to build sealed boxes because I built 3 independent boxes and then put one in at a time and then had to bolt them together. So in a car like that with that many woofers, I wouldn't be able to do a porter box.
Now, what about people who put their subs in their trunk? How do you keep it from vibrating?
It depends on how much wattage and bass you have, but it's a lot of sound deadening, a lot of Dynamat.
A lot of Dynamat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dynamat, is that a newer product? Because when I got my Tundra done, they recommended I did it in the door panels, so I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been around for a long time. There's a lot of newer manufacturers of sound deadening, but Dynamat itself has been around for a while.
Okay, and so Dynamat is the best, in your opinion?
It's very good, but there are companies that make them thicker.
Okay.
Like
are they trustworthy companies? Because how much, you look at stainless steel now, that if it comes from China, it ain't stainless steel.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of companies that are coming out like SoundSkin, Sky High. They're really reputable companies that have good sound deadening that I've used.
Because getting back to people being taken advantage of, they can go on Amazon. They're like, oh, look at this, I can get it so much cheaper, but they don't realize it's coming from Asia.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And again, being an audiophile, I always, if you're going to spend 10 grand, 20,000, or even 2,000 on a sound system, you might as well make it worth it, right?
Yes.
And you don't have to do it all at once, like you said before. You can build on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite project you're working on right now?
God, I have so many. Right now, I'm working on a '64 Impala convertible that...
Your own?
No, it's a customer's. It's a really nice car. I just picked up a 63 convertible that I'm going to do. I just finished a 53 Bel Air. Like I said, I just finished that Monte Carlo Aero Coupe. I have so many.
Start to finish, average time it takes you to really do a car well.
If it's just a basic stereo with a trunk, probably about 3 weeks.
And that's all custom boxes,
Yeah.
custom install,
Yeah.
making it look clean, which is important. I mean, you got to hide those wires.
Yes.
You got to hide them. So, and then do you redo interior as well, or do you subcontract that out with someone else?
No, I'll wrap like easy, simple stuff, but like to do seats and headliner, I don't do none of that. That I subcontract somewhere else.
So what do you believe about putting speakers in the headrests? Because my Escalade has that.
Yeah, I got a customer with a 2-door Chevy pickup that I put 28 speakers in and 2 subwoofers, and
Was it a crew cab or just a
single cab?
It was a single cab. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Is it the red one that's on your Instagram?
Yes.
How many amps?
3 amps.
And he's the one who put the battery in his
Yeah,
bed?
2 batteries.
In his bed.
Yeah. And with him, I took his factory headrest off, and I built him custom headrests with 2 6.5-inch speakers in each headrest.
Facing right, left?
Right behind the back of your head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that one, it has a separate dial where he could blast the music, and that separate dial controls the volume of it. That way it's not blaring in your ears.
And that truck's not going to be street legal. I mean, if a cop...
It is.
But if a cop hears it...
Oh, yeah, no. He's getting a ticket.
Oh,
I
yes.
warned him.
Now, that type of ticket, is it a fix-it ticket or is it...
No, you're paying. It's disturbing
you're
the peace.
paying. You're
Yeah,
just
it's
paying.
disturbing the peace.
What is that fine right now in SoCal?
I think the last time was like $250, but it goes up every time you get another one.
Oh,
Yes.
that's nice.
Yeah, so every time you get one, it's just more and more expensive.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to be completely responsible with that.
Yeah.
Has that entered any competitions?
That truck, no, he goes to truck shows, but he doesn't enter sound competitions. He just did it for himself. He started off kind of good and then just wanted it louder, louder, louder. And even now, he still wants it louder.
Oh, he's going to have to keep going louder because he's going to keep going deafer, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, you guys got to go and check out this truck. It's on your Instagram page.
Yes.
It is absolutely insane, the video of that truck pulling out. I think you're half a block away.
Yeah.
And you can hear it clear as day. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. So what's your favorite music you like to listen to right now?
Right now, I've been into Brian Trejo. He's a Christian rapper. He's got a lot of good songs.
So obviously a lot of house music is popular now, right? You know,
Yeah.
are you having to build systems differently?
No. As long as it's adjusted right, it'll play anything. Anything.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And so are you into putting an equalizer in?
It depends on the customer. A lot of customers, they don't like touching their radios or the EQs because they don't understand how frequencies work. And some people do. So I'll ask them, like, how often are you messing with the EQ or adjusting the treble and the bass?
Well, see, I was the asshole that would always hit the loud button, that... And I would get my ass reamed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just gives it that extra...
Boost.
I mean, you'd get some distortion,
Yeah.
but you would still... I mean, when I was growing up, I grew up in South Florida, right? And you can say what you want about LA, but I think South Florida is where the whole car audio came from.
It is. They have a lot of competitions there every year.
Right? And when you were driving down the strip in Fort Lauderdale... I had a little Dodge 600 ES. That was my first car. And let me tell you, I had the head unit. I didn't change out the head unit, but I had all this. And I was just driving along, and people would be looking at me and my buddies in that car, and I just turn it up. and they were blown away, right?
Yeah.
Because you would have this sound system that was in there. But my baby was my 89 RX-7, you know, and that to me was more, it was just unbelievable to have that ability to turn up that volume and have people coming out yelling at me that it was too loud.
Really?
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Loved it. It was amazing. It was so cool to have that. And I remember my other buddy, he helped me build out the system. I helped him build his first. And then somehow or another, I got my Power 600s cheaper than he got his Power 300s. I think I bought him used.
Oh,
I found him used. And he was pissed that he could hear my car in his car, even though he had a sound system.
Yeah.
But I mean, growing up, like I said, South Florida, I mean, bass was all where it was all about.
Yes.
It was. And then all of a sudden it kind of transferred now, like here in Southern California, it's about how your whole system sounds. And I haven't been back to South Florida since I left high school, but I'm wondering if has it changed down there too? It's like you want the whole system now?
No, because even in Daytona, there's a lot of bass competitions, but I think as the years went by, everyone just wants better music overall, you know?
Yeah. So you've seen a transformation.
Yes.
At least out here. What have you seen transform in LA? Like from where you started right after the cars radio stealing, you know, right when you got into the electrical to where you are now.
Well, now everyone does everything a lot more professional, where in the beginning, people were throwing house speakers on their back seats and just going with that. They didn't care.
They used to take them apart too,
Yes.
right?
They just wanted music.
Right. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yes. and now it's transforming, right?
Yes.
How's the technology coming along?
Oh, it's great. They're doing so much cool stuff now.
So is there a lot of, I mean, because you're thinking about the Internet of Things, right? Everything's online and all that stuff. So are a lot of these speakers still hardwired? Are they Bluetooth? Are they Ethernet cord? Are they...
Everything is pretty much wired the same. A lot of like Porsches and German cars are doing fiber optics. So that's, that's kind of a lot harder to get. That's when you got to buy the expensive digital sound processors.
Well, you're driving a Porsche. Everything's more expensive, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So they're using fiber optic now.
Yeah.
Better sound?
Yes. Yes, it is.
More power?
Not necessarily more power, more clarity. There's a lot less distortion at higher levels, and it's a lot clearer.
So you're telling me to go home and take out my HDMI ARC out of my center speaker or out of my TV speaker and use the actual fiber optic line?
Yeah, it's a lot better clarity.
Right. Has Sonos gotten into the car audio game yet?
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because the Sonos system I have in my house, because like I said, when I first introduced myself to you, I am an audiophile.
Yeah.
The Sonos surround system I have on my TV is insane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's all run off network, like Wi-Fi.
Really?
So there's no wires. I mean, it is. If you've never heard a Sonos sound system set up to someone's TV, go.
All right.
Try to find one down and listen to it. You will be like, this is insane. Insane. What are in your shop you have a mural, right?
Yeah, a couple of them.
What are those murals?
One is Jesse James working on a motorcycle. Another mural is Chip Foose designing a car. And then one mural is like a pink sunset with palm trees.
So what do those mean to you?
Jesse James doing the motorcycle is like getting hands-on and dirty and building it and doing it. And he's a local guy. They're from Riverside. And Chip Foose is the designing part, the sitting down and planning and designing and getting it on paper. And then the pink sunset is those times you got to take a break and just want to stare off into a nice, beautiful scenery.
Wow. So Yeah, don't we all want that one?
Yeah.
Where's your mural? How come you do not have a mural of yourself on your wall yet?
At the time, I don't feel I was worthy to be on a wall. I still had a lot of work to do. I still needed to put my name out. But one day I think it's coming.
Well, for those who don't know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Super Bowl of car audio, SEMA.
Yeah.
Right? Explain what SEMA is to the listeners.
SEMA is one of the biggest. They have it once a year where all the baddest car builders come together. They announce the new products coming out for the next year. They advertise tools, products, anything car related comes out in that show. And then they also have the Battle of the Builders, which the top people compete for the best builder.
And why was SEMA so special for you?
Because it's the top. It's, to have one of your cars showcase there it feels great, to walk around there and be like, have you seen the car I did in this booth? It's just an amazing feeling.
What car were you showing off?
A 64 Impala called Legacy.
And what did you do with that car?
I did the whole fiberglass trunk in there.
You did? Yes. Unbelievable. And to be recognized at such a high level, don't you think you deserve a mural now?
Maybe in a couple years. I still feel I'm young. I still feel I got years ahead of me and little more learning to do. I think that's something you achieve towards the end of your career.
So this isn't a job for you.
No.
You never go, oh man, I got to go to the shop today.
Never.
Oh, please, I don't want to.
No, there are weekends I'm sitting at home like I wish I was at the shop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how I am now. I'm a retired veterinarian who's now doing this and getting to meet wonderful people just like yourself. And my wife is furious because I'm supposed to be tired at home. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go to the studio. Why? I just love to be creative. It keeps my mind working.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to have to wheel you out of the shop one day? Is that what you're looking at for your career?
I plan on being like George Harris, 90-something years old and still moving along.
So when you walked around SEMA, was that a surreal moment for yourself?
It was. Finally being there as someone involved in it and not just a spectator, it was like crazy, It was like I never thought this would happen.
And usually when is SEMA?
Like end of October, beginning of November.
In Las Vegas?
Yes.
So during football season, so you can place some bets if you want to.
Yeah.
You can go to a Raiders game if you want to.
Yeah.
And I mean, for anyone who hasn't been to that Allegiant Stadium, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's beautiful. Any famous Hollywood actors, actresses, anyone in the music industry ever approach you and say, hey, can you help me with my ride?
I've done the Laker car for Snoop Dogg. I've done the wiring and the Dynamat and Kid Ink's Nova. I've done in front of the Nipsey Hussle clothing store. I did the marathon box that was out there playing music all the time. So I've done a couple.
So and you still don't want that mural. I'm going to keep coming back to that. See, because you got to believe in yourself. You have come from stealing head units to installing amazing systems for amazing people.
Yeah.
So that must have been a little intimidating working on Snoop's car.
It was at first because it was like, I think the second year I opened up the shop.
Right.
But then you just got to tell yourself it's just a car, You can't be scared to work on it. You just got to do it.
Right.
And
I mean, Snoop's amazing. Don't get me wrong, right?
Oh, amazing.
But I don't think he has the technicality that Dre does. Or do you think he does? Like I watched
Dre, I would say is a producer,
right?
And Snoop is a rapper. He does the music,
right?
Like everybody has their gift. I'm not saying that Dre's not a great musician,
but he like the Beats headphones. He was very specific about how they sounded, how they worked.
Yes.
Was Snoop like that too?
No, I think Dre's more into the musical stuff.
Yeah.
like the details of it.
But Snoop is no fool when it comes to music. I mean, this sounds stupid or corny, but I watched him on The Voice, and I was blown away with how much he knows about music.
Yes. Well, I mean, he is music, basically.
Right.
He's been making music since I was in elementary school. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Don't want to give your age there. So, first car you owned ever?
1967 Impala.
And when did you start the rebuild of that? Immediately? Immediately?
Yeah, when I was 18, the day I got it, I started to work on it.
You gutted it and just went to it? So you just did the radio, or you did everything in that car?
No, that car actually sat in a guy's backyard for like 14 years. So the first thing I did was on the way home, we took it to a car wash and washed all the spider webs off of it. Then we took it home. We dropped the gas tank.
Did it run?
Oh, in 2 days we got it running.
Oh, so you towed it home?
Yeah, we towed it home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it didn't run for 14 years.
Yeah.
And what, you just go in there and just turn over?
No, it took a little bit of work, but it worked. I mean, the motor only lasted like a year and a half. The compression on the motor would end up low, but I ended up doing a new motor and everything.
You've done lowriders.
Mm-hmm.
You've done Harleys. You've done Caddies. Is there one project that pushed you to your limits where you're like, I don't know if this is going to work?
I had, when I was doing cars in my front yard, my buddy Josh came with his uncle's Z06 Corvette, and he had
what year?
2002 or 1. It was an anniversary year.
Yeah.
And it had 3 Macintosh amps, Pioneer radio, Morel 3-way front speakers, and a Hertz sub. And that thing that's where I learned a lot of my audio was from that car.
Wow. That was incredible. And that's another thing too. Was it a T-top or is it convertible or is it?
No, it was
all closed in. It was a hard
Yeah.
top. Yeah. So I was going to say that's where you learn that, it's very important to have a lot of power when you have the convertible.
Yes.
Or you have your sunroof open. I mean, or you drive around with your windows open,
Yeah.
Another thing is when people sit in their car and they have their windows up, when they open those windows, that radio sounds fuller. Do you agree?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it lets it breathe and it opens up. I don't know. I never really thought about it. I just know when you lower the windows, it does sound better.
It sounds better. It sounds fuller.
Yeah.
It does. I guess we should ask Einstein. I'm sure there's something in there, something in the theory of relativity that talks about it. So you've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah.
What trends tend to come and go? What have you stuck with?
Really, I don't stick to trends. I try to make the sound system as if it like came with the car. So I try to stick with the DNA of the car. That way it doesn't look like the sound system was just thrown in there like an afterthought. It was actually created with the car. So I try to do stuff like that.
And let's face it, not everyone that goes to high school is going to go to college, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to go to college. You could do a good living. Do you do a lot of mentoring of high school kids or people who want to learn how to do this?
Recently I am. I started up a school to kind of teach anybody who wants to learn wiring, fabrication, custom box building, and anything. And I just...
Virtual or brick and mortar?
No, come to the shop and I'll show you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So anyone could contact you and come in and be part.
Yes.
How many employees do you have?
Just me and my son.
Really?
Yes.
And have any of these people that you've started to mentor shown interest into maybe working with you long term?
Not yet, but I just started, so hopefully it grows into something good.
Yeah. I mean, to learn from someone who has won the awards that you have and has the accolades that you have. I mean, let's face it, you built Snoop's Laker car, right? I mean, that's huge. You put a sound system in probably one of the biggest hip hop artists or artists in general, because now he's in movies, commercials, and everything else. I mean, that is an opportunity I don't think many people can turn away from. So how do they get a hold of you if they want to do that?
It was through a friend. One of my friends knew, at the time his name was Slice, and Slice was taking care of all of Snoop's cars, and he was looking for someone to work on his car, and he ended up telling Slice about me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at these newbies, the rookies into the car audio world, what's the biggest mistake you see them make?
Not adjusting the stereo and the EQ properly. A lot of the times, like, people complain, oh, I just took my car to this shop and it don't sound as good, and can you check it out? And I'll go into the radio settings and it's on the default settings. And like, if you use a Pioneer, they have it on powerful, and it puts so much bass into the speakers that as soon as you start to turn up the volume, the speakers will start to pop. So if you go in there and you actually set your own EQ, you'll get more mids and vocals out of it.
Now, because back in the day, it would shut off. Like, it would do, like, if it felt,
protect mode.
Yeah, it would go into protect mode. Do they still have protect mode?
The good amps, when you buy the cheaper amps, they'll blow everything. Yeah.
So all your speakers, everything will go.
Gone.
Fry.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to ask you this. Nowadays, these cars, like, they come with their subwoofers. They come with pretty good radio, right? JBL does stuff. Bose does stuff. There's a couple others that do.
B&W.
Yeah. I mean, they all have worked with someone else to do their sound systems.
Yes.
How good are those now compared to, let's say, 10 years ago?
Honestly, they're pretty good. I mean, I like the fact they don't get like crazy loud, but one thing about it is you could get in them and put them at almost full blast and there's no distortion.
Right, but they're not as full and as loud.
Yes, but it sounds good at high volumes, and it's hard to blow something.
So if I said, hey, this is my Range Rover, do you have to change that head unit?
It depends on what your Range Rover it is, and most of the times, like a lot of the newer cars,
because they're all computer.
Yes, they'll tell you when to do your oil change or control the AC or stuff like. If it's like that, then I would leave that head unit in there and just run a processor on the outside, and then you'll be fine.
So you can override the head unit.
Yes.
As far as because those head units now still preamped?
Some of them, not all of them.
Okay, so the high end. Let's talk high end because we're in LA. We're in Southern California.
Yeah.
So you see them everywhere: the Mercedes, the Beamers, the Audis, the Range Rovers, the Cadillacs. I'm not going to go Porsche and all those, but you know what I mean. The common ones. Even the Denali's, even the high end Suburbans, because those run 120 some odd thousand an hour.
Yeah.
The Navigators, are those all preamped?
Yes, all the high-end ones, yes. They actually...
Can you override that preamp?
Yeah, you could bypass it all.
Did you get in the computer and
No, basically you just take the speaker signal coming out of the amplifier and you just steal that to go into yours.
Wow. And, the SoCal scene is more than, about cars is more than just being loud. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you still live that lifestyle on the weekends?
I try to, but I got family now, so it's kind of hard. It's like you see your kids grow so fast, you want to be there for that.
How humbling is it, though, to know that you're a face and known in the community?
It's nice. It's nice.
Right?
Yes.
That's how hard you've worked to get to where you are. And,
Yeah.
it is amazing.
It is.
So when you do get a free weekend to get back into that lifestyle, what do you usually do?
We just went to a bass competition this like 2 weekends ago with my son. I still like to be involved in the car stuff. It's part of me. It's who I am.
Do you collab a lot with a bunch of other builders?
Uh, Sometimes, not all the time, but yeah, I work a lot right now with Ultimate Interiors, Lupe, and then with the Dialbas, I like to help them out on their cars, and yeah, I try to. But
Okay, I got to ask because I used to, I'm a business owner. Have you any upset clients?
uh in my 14 years, I've had one.
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 And what was the issue?
Well,
Other than cost.
no, it wasn't even cost. What it was he was a big build, real big build, and I went through kidney failure. So then I ended up being on dialysis, and then they set my dialysis time at 12 at noontime. So
And that's 3 to 4 times a week
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
Yeah, no, 4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Wow.
So it got to a point where I was only working every other day. And then the dialysis really takes a lot out of you and you're tired. And I was just getting used to it. So I messed up his car and it just ended all bad.
Well, I mean, life happens. I mean, the dialysis part really must have taken its toll on your whole business.
Yeah.
Especially since you're a one-man shop, except for now you have your son.
Yeah.
How's your health right now?
Oh, it's a lot better because the dialysis in a way kind of saved my life because not even a year into it, I was being put on a kidney transplant list. And in order to do that, they do a full body checkup to make sure you're all good.
You're a candidate.
Yes.
And they also do a psychological test. They also do a drug screen. I mean,
all
everything.
kinds of stuff.
Right.
But then finding out I needed a quadruple heart bypass. So less than a year later, I was doing open heart surgery. And I went through all kinds of crazy stuff.
So what caused the kidney issue? Was it the heart failure?
No, it was weird. Once I opened up my shop, every week I was getting sick. And it was just random. I would wake up, start to get ready for work one day, and then I would start to feel hot. And I'd start sweating like crazy. And then I would just start vomiting. And then before you knew it, I couldn't stand. I was dizzy. I was sweating. I was hot. I would fill up a 13-gallon kitchen trash can a day, just throwing up like crazy. And I was going to the hospital, doctors, and no one ever knew what it was.
Except your kidney values kept going up.
Yeah.
So did they ever figure out what caused the kidney disease?
I have no idea. Though they said it was for the high blood pressure from me getting sick.
Well, the high blood pressure is the silent killer, right?
Yes.
Because what people don't understand is that when you do have high blood pressure, instead of the blood hitting your kidneys like a drip system, it comes in like a pressure washer.
Yeah, they told me that it breaks all the little veins inside the kidneys.
Right.
And once they rupture, there's no fixing it.
There's no fixing it. So how your kidney values now are stable, right?
Yeah, a lot better.
Blood pressure medication, you're taking it every day?
Yeah.
Watching what you eat, watching your protein content.
Yes.
Yeah, all those fun things.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But when you were sick like that, what type of effect did it have on your business?
Oh, it killed it.
Killed it.
Oh,
How many years ago was this?
It was basically when I opened up the shop. And
so 2012.
Yeah, and then it stopped happening about 2 years ago. So, yes, I put up with that for like 11 years, 12 years.
Wow.
And there were times I was getting sick up to 3 times a week.
Wow. But now you're feeling good.
Oh, I feel great.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you tell the community? I mean, that's why it's so important to get your blood pressure checked, to keep everything under control.
Oh, yeah, you have to. You have to.
So they didn't know if it was a bacteria or a toxin or congenital, meaning you were born with an issue?
They never figured it out. They couldn't. I went there when I was sick. When I wasn't sick, I went to specialists. I went to hospital. I had MRI, CT scans, blood work. You name it. I've had it.
That's unbelievable. Wow. Well, congratulations on feeling better.
Thank
You're
you.
one of the lucky ones, right?
Yes.
Because the one thing the kidney can't do, like the heart can't do, is correct its problem.
Yeah.
And you had quadruple bypass already.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any idea that your heart was having that much problem?
None. We don't have no check engine lights.
Right. So it was just God's way.
Yes.
Again,
God,
right?
God has a plan for everything.
Right. So now you're feeling good. You're doing better.
Yeah.
What was your proudest build?
I have a lot, but I'm going to have to say my buddy Eddie's Monte Carlo. I did a replica front end of his car in the trunk of his car.
Wow.
And people would ask, how'd you shrink the front end? And I tell them, no, that's all built out of fiberglass and wood. And then they would have to look at it, and I tell them, bro, it's the front end of the car in the trunk.
Right.
You can't get a front end in the trunk.
Correct.
And
So you're an artist. Truly,
Yeah.
truly an artist.
yeah,
Do you paint?
no.
You don't do anything else. You
Well,
just build with your hands.
Yes, yeah. I could paint, but I feel it's not up to par, so I leave that to the professionals.
Wow. So what are some, okay, other than cars, what are some of the crazy things you've built for around the home or for the shop or for anything?
I've built a portable music booth that you could tear down and carry into a bedroom and then put back up.
What materials were that?
Like 2x4s, wood. It had a glow-in-the-dark ashtray, a glow-in-the-dark cell phone holder. It had a stash spot. It had a shelf to put the laptop, hold the microphone. It had a window. It had a vent to take the hot air out.
Wow.
I've done swimming pools. I've done a couple of those.
Fiberglass swimming pools.
Yeah.
Or cement.
No, like a custom $250,000 pools. And as they're doing like the grottos and they have all the rebar up,
Yes.
I would build little boxes to house speakers.
Underwater?
No, inside
okay.
of the grotto, and we would put it in the rebar.
Yeah.
And when they would shoot the cement over it, it's built into it.
Yeah, it's the gunite. Yeah,
Yes.
when they shoot that gunite.
Yeah, yeah. I've done boats. I've done houses. Like in my room, one day I was laying down in bed and I was like, I want subwoofers in my room. So I cut a 3-foot by 3-foot hole in my ceiling and I built a box and slid it in there and bolted it all up. And now I have 4 12s in my ceiling and it's all stuccoed like the roof.
Because everyone needs 4 12s in their ceiling.
Yes.
So do you have a crazy surround sound system at home for your TV?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah.
All car audio, though, not home audio.
Right. Car audio, exactly,
Yeah.
with your own custom boxes.
Yes.
So what's that sound system like?
Pretty loud when it wants to be, but I got
Right.
neighbors, so I tend to keep it low.
Okay, favorite movie to watch on that sound system?
Anything with explosions.
Really?
War movies. Yes.
How about Days of Thunder?
Oh, the racing one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy too. Because you can hear all the cars' high-powered motors flying right by you.
And vibrating, right?
Yeah.
You know, it was crazy. I went on a few months back, I went to Greece. And, it's a 14-hour flight to get there. We left here at like 2 p.m. We got there the next day, 6, 7 p.m. We get to the hotel. We go up to our room. And then all of a sudden, I swear the whole flipping hotel was vibrating. And it's very common in Europe for them to have pop-up house parties on the streets.
Really?
The stereo stack, the speaker stack, was 2 stories tall.
What?
It was one of the most, and I immediately lost my jet lag. I'm like, because audiophile, I'm like, I'm getting down there. I have never stood in a crowd and felt my whole body vibrate like that
That's crazy.
in my life. You know,
That's
so
cool.
so that's why I was asking, like favorite movie stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sport, I bet you watching football or whatever. Forget baseball, you know, but basketball, all that must be just like you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you have the high-end TV to go with the high-end.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I do.
Dream car to build.
An Impala or a Cadillac?
What year Cadillac?
The 80s, the two doors. It's like one of my favorite
Oh, the
cars.
two-door Escalade?
No, the two-door Brougham.
Oh, the two-door,
Fleetwood,
the Brougham.
Lowriders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the Sevilles?
Not
You don't
more,
like the Sevilles with the slanted back?
No, not really. I like the two-door Brougham, the Fleetwood.
Yeah.
The big long boats.
Yeah, it was Cadillac Brougham. They used
Yeah.
to who used to rap about Cadillac Brougham in the 80s? Sally, that girl.
Oh, yeah.
Because he talks about his Cadillac Brougham. I forget who sang "Whoa, Sally, that girl." That was another song that would, because boom, boom, boom. You could, it used to kick. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I agree with that. And then nothing else though. I mean, just those two.
I like Impalas. Anything old, really.
Really?
Yeah, I like the old classic cars. They're a lot easier to work on. Not so much
Because there's a lot of dead space in them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
A lot of dead space. Most slept on audio brand.
I would have to say Hertz.
Really?
Yeah. Because everyone I get, they always like FoCal. And I'm like, FoCal's good, but I prefer Hertz.
Unbelievable. Best subwoofer made right now.
Ooh, that's a lot. I'm going to have to say
If you're putting one in your car, who are you choosing? You got to choose.
FI.
Oh, really?
FI out of Las Vegas.
Right. Is Infinity still in the game?
Yes.
They make pretty good mid-range speakers.
Yes.
Yeah. Best head unit.
I like Pioneer.
Pioneer. Is Eclipse still in the game?
I don't know if they are today. If they are, they're probably really small because I haven't heard about them in years.
Right. Yeah, I had that in my RX-7. I had an Eclipse. So Pioneer over Kenwood.
Yeah, because actually Kenwood got bought out by JVC.
Ah.
So they're a lot different now.
It's like when Ford bought out Land Rover,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And all the Range Rovers went to crap.
Yeah.
Go-to song to test bass.
I usually use that Get the Bag by Gucci Mane. That song hits.
Gucci Crew. That's who sings Sally. There you go.
Was it?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, okay. I used to Magic Mike, DJ Magic Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Lower. I mean that one album he had would hit so hard, hard. But I'm aging myself. I mean, okay. First concert you went to?
It was a Nipsey Hussle concert in Hollywood.
Really? First
Yeah.
concert I went to, Two Live Crew, South Florida.
Oh.
87. Yeah, I mean, I got addicted. Soon as I heard bass, then I got addicted to rap. And that's why I love house music. I love all types of music. I love country, I love classical. I mean, but hip hop and house right now for me
Is everything.
is everything. Satellite radio, does it sound good?
I've never really messed with that. I use, me personally, I use Apple Music.
You do?
Yeah.
So you just tell people to Bluetooth in and that sounds great.
Yeah.
No interface, just Bluetooth in.
Yeah.
Playlist you ride to?
Lately it's been my Christian music.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, James, it was so good talking to you. I could go on for days.
Yeah.
I love this. So, what are your socials? What's your email?
Genuine Custom Audio is pretty much my email, my social, my everything. So, Genuine Custom Audio at gmail.com, and Instagram is Genuine Custom Audio.
Unbelievable. If you have any questions, you want to hit us up, just tag, you just write down what you want to know.
Yeah.
I would love to have James back. I think he's onto something. If you're interested in learning how to do what James does, no guarantee you're going to be as good as him, but at least you won't be, first off, taken advantage of, and secondly, you'll probably make something you would be pretty happy with yourself. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.